what do they say in New York? Forget about it. That's right. You forget about getting no hit last night, because tonight you got a 4-1 win over the New York Mets. You even up that series. Ricky Bottalico, I'm Michael Barkann. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. We've got all the interviews, we've got all the highlights, and we've got analysis from Ricky Bo and Ben Davis. What did you see tonight from a Phillies team that I thought was struggling toward the beginning of the game?
Yeah.
Certainly an unearned run to start it off, and we thought first run's going to win it. And then they come back and do it.
They definitely battled in at-bats. I mean, you saw them grinding out some walks, and then all of a sudden the hits kind of started coming, and a huge hit by Kyle Schwarber. When you look at this game, I don't even look at the offense. The offense, yes, they scored 4 runs. Hoskins finally gets himself a hit. He was 0 for 16 prior to that home run he hit tonight. But I look at the bullpen. How about 4 2/3 innings scoreless from your bullpen? That's what stands out to me. Everybody will say, well, they got some hits tonight. Yeah, you got some hits. You scored 4 runs. You know, you get applause for that. A nice little golf clap for that. But the heroes of the game are definitely the guys out of that bullpen.
Let's go live right now to Citi Field. Check in with the Big Irish himself. Ben Davis called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. There he is with his baseball. Benny, what do you think? Is
that a new pearl, Ben?
What did you think tonight, Ben, when, you know, it was 11 innings when you count the last inning they scored against Colorado until tonight, and they got some runs on the board, and it kind of looked a little dicey at the beginning, but they right the ship.
It sure did. And Taijuan Walker was throwing the ball well. The approach just started to change, I think, as the game went on. They had some really good at-bats tonight, worked some walks. 2 of those walks came around to score with JT and Alec Boehm. But they started to stay a little bit within themselves, stayed in the middle of the diamond. And that home run by Schwarber, that was just what the doctor ordered. And then one up top to Reese, that was awesome as well. So it was fun to watch and nice. It's a good win because they needed to break out of it. It was kind of like, when is this going to happen? You know, and it's just a lot of weak contact. They were staying off of barrels, and all of a sudden it just kind of came, and they made the Mets pay.
Yeah, they definitely did. And the Phillies bullpen, I'm calling them a little bit of an unsung hero tonight. 4 2/3 out of the bullpen, scoreless, Ben.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ricky. That was what Alvarado did. That was awesome. I mean, that was such a Houdini act there. He just came in, just guns a-blazing, got the strikeout to Escobar there, and then to McNeil. That was just awesome to watch because it was a sticky situation. There are 2 guys that are pretty darn good, and McNeil's having a resurrection year this year, but they were awesome. Sarah Anthony was unbelievable. I'm surprised actually Joe came and got him out of the game and brought Familia in to face Alonso, but it worked. And then all these guys. I mean, Norwood did a phenomenal job.
Sure did.
Coming in that ball game and getting 3 quick outs. They were just really good. Knebel struggled with command a little bit. He was missing up in the zone, but he was able to reel it in and finish it off. The bullpen was phenomenal tonight. And Gibson, he had a little bit of command issues with those 5 walks, the most he's had all season. But, he did a good job of keeping them in the ball game as well, and his sinker was really good tonight, but the walk started to catch up to him.
And that's a tough loss last night, getting no hit by a New York Mets team on their home field. And while these guys are major leaguers, still, there are plenty of teams that wouldn't have come back the way the Phillies did. What does this say about this team at this point in the season that they got one against, especially with Scherzer, Eflin tomorrow?
Yeah, I think first and foremost it shows their resilience. It shows that they have short memories, and it shows that they're out there just not worrying about what happened yesterday, what happened last week, what happened in the Rocky series. They're not worried about Max Scherzer tomorrow. They were worried about Taijuan Walker tonight. And I think that shows their resiliency. These guys are pros. They've been around the block. A lot of veterans in that clubhouse, a lot of guys with some pretty darn good pedigrees in there. And I think it just speaks to how Joe Girardi and the coaching staff prepare these guys every day. I wish you could see how much work and effort that they put in before the game start. I mean, you got Paco Figueroa out there doing the outfield drills, and it's everybody. It's not just Mickey Moniak or Roman Quinn. Castellanos was out here. Schwarber was out here. Vierling was out here. All these guys are getting their work done. Same thing with the infielders. I mean, these guys work their tail off, and you're starting to see this the fruits of their labors really pay off in the games. It's been fun to watch. Obviously, they get a million hacks in the cages. They get their batting practice out on the field. They did hit on the field today. So I think it's just they're really starting to realize that, hey, we got a good squad here. Let's see what we can do.
Last one, rubber games tomorrow. Zach Eflin on the mound. He's got a 3.20 ERA, and that isn't bad. But he's going against Max Scherzer, who's got a 1.80, who's climbing over outfield walls, bullpen walls, to join his teammates in bench-clearing brawls, for goodness sakes. How do you size up this matchup?
Well, Zach's going to have to be on top of his game. You know what you're going to get out of Scherzer, but, hey, maybe he's due for a clunker. But I think they have a good idea. There's a lot of big sample sizes against Scherzer. And if they can go out there, make sure he throws the ball, make him work, get him out of the game, maybe see a lot of pitches, foul some balls off, just really lengthen at bats out, and maybe get him the heck out of the ball game. Especially the way that the Mets bullpen had to throw tonight. They went through a lot of arms tonight, as did the Phillies. I get that. But Zach needs to continue to stick with his strengths. I think that he has a good idea. Watching Aaron Nola last night, his fastball command was very good. Watching Gibson tonight, I think they can realize, listen, Zach Eflin is a lot like Gibson. Use that sinker. Use it over and over. They was running it on the inside part of the plate. Sarah Anthony did it as well. If he could throw that sinker in underneath the hands, Marte was smothering balls. Canada doing the same thing. Alonso, you can get a lot of quick outs that way and keep that pitch count down.
Benny Baseball joining us from Citi Field. Thank you, Ben Davis. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Have a
Enjoy
great
your
trip
day
back
off
home.
tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
All right,
will
guys.
do.
Thanks.
Will do. That's Ben joining us from Citi Field. Take a look at the bullpen, Ricky Bo. You saw it. We watched it. 4 2/3 innings of 2-hit shutout ball with 5 strikeouts to boot.
Well, it kind of stinks. Jose Alvarado came in the biggest spot in this ball game. Bases loaded, 1 out, strikes out the 2 hitters he faces. You know what he got for it? Nothing. Because James Noor would end up getting the win. Knebel would get a save in this one, but everybody did their job and did it well. Even Familia, he ended up walking 2 guys, but going back against your former team, that's not always the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Especially up at their ballpark.
Joe Girardi said post-game last night, and he said it several times, tomorrow's another day. In baseball, forget about it. Ricky Bo said that, forget about it, tomorrow's another day, and so it has come to pass. What's the manager saying after the game tonight? Here he is.
Pretty good win. Kyle Schwarber saved the day, kind of.
Yeah, and I think JT getting that walk, right? And them worrying about him stealing and that sort of thing may have sped him up a little bit. And it's a huge hit for Kyle. And then Baum steals a bag and gets on and steals a bag, and you get a little insurance run from Dubel and then Reese. Just a great performance. Our bullpen did a really good job. James Norwood gets his first win in his hometown. It's pretty cool, right? Especially for what he's been through.
Do you feel like the weight was sort of lifted once Kyle gets that one over the wall? I mean, you guys have been kind of scuffling for something.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, I felt like a weight was a little lifted when we got a hit. But yeah, I mean, they have a very good pitching staff, and you got to grind down at bats on them and take advantage when they make a mistake, and we were able to do it tonight.
Alvarado comes in with the bases loaded. I know he's got amazing stuff. You're never really sure what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And so he throws 7 pitches and gets 2 strikeouts.
Yeah,
What was that like?
he was fantastic. We just felt that was the best matchup at that point, the best chance to get a strikeout or a double play ball, and that's why we brought him in. And what a job he did.
Why did Serenity come out for Familia?
Well, I mean, you think about Familia, he's a little bit more of a ground ball pitcher. Pete's got as much power as anybody in the league, so you're trying to keep him on the ground.
Would you consider Serenity going a little bit deeper just in general?
What do you mean?
Or going, I don't know, I think he was 2/3 of an inning tonight. Would you consider?
Yeah, but he's went 1 1/3 for me a couple of times. So, yeah, I do. I just kind of strictly went by the matchup, what I felt like was the best matchup. And it worked. I mean, it doesn't always work, but you try to look at what you think is the best matchup and put the guys in the situation to be successful.
Did Google go on contact there?
No.
So it's a base runner stuff.
Yeah, we had a couple blunders tonight. But, that's tough because, it's the ball's hit. he takes one step, and Lindor's so close.
What have you liked about your bullpen's performance so far this season?
Well, I think we got different looks. Number one, I think we have power. I think we have guys that have good sinkers, guys that have good four-seamers, guys that have good hooks, guys that have good sliders. We got some different looks, right? For the most part, they've done a pretty good job. Really have.
What do you think of Gibson?
Really good. To a really good game. I mean, his trouble came on his throw, right? I mean, we're out of that inning if he just gets one, right? So, but again, he pitched a great game.
Just how big to get this one when you have to face that guy tomorrow?
No, I think it's big, especially after last night. You want to bounce back, and I think it was important that we bounced back and scored some runs. So tomorrow's another big game, another tough game.
Joe Girardi on a significant win by the Phillies over the New York Mets, and Girardi mentioned reliever James Norwood, who grew up in Manhattan. And James, while about to throw his first side session with the Phillies, they had traded for him from the Padres on April 1st, got a call from his mom, Chusri, you better come back to Manhattan. Your dad stopped breathing. And unfortunately, sadly, tragically, Mark Norwood passed away, and James had to leave the team for a time and then came back. So he picks up the win tonight for the Phillies in his hometown. Grew up in Manhattan, but the borough of Queens will do just fine, and that's got to be amazing.
It is. I mean, when you go through something like that, and to go back there for the first time since that has happened and come up with a win, I'm sure he had a lot of family members there. I'm sure there were a lot of tears in the stands for him today.
Yeah, it's a special story. It's a sad story, but a triumphant one.
And by the way, happy birthday, partner.
I look.
He's this old.
I look real good today. Okay, we got it.
He's this old.
Phillies win! Phillies win! We'll see you Tuesday, everybody. Have a great night for Ricky Bottalico. Ricky Bottalico.
Happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños a ti.
Thank you very much. I'm 40. Good night.